begin to change from fear to confident. You smile totally radiant and your walk. It is going to be absolutely glowing. So if you are ready for balance, clarity, alignment, start your 30-day reset today with House of Wisdom. Cleaning house by ordering your ebook for only $10 on Cash App tag $Health and Abundance. Just put your email when sending your money. Your body is sacred. Your spirit deserves care. Clean your house from the inside out. Hashtag House of Wisdom. Hashtag cleaning has hashtag Reiki healing. Hashtag spiritual rest. Hashtag holistic wellness. Hash 30-day healing. Welcome to freedom and rejuvenation. Your body is a house, and it deserves to be clean, nourished, and protected. House of Wisdom presents Cleaning House. This journal is for all men, women, children, and all walks of faith. This journal includes 30 days of healing, mindful eating, spiritual journaling, Reiki water healing. Begin each day with a morning practice and end your day with an evening one. This helps too. Program your body with intention, balance, and divine flow. Eat with intention. Food as medicine. Learn how to nourish yourself with high vibrational fruits and vegetables that support your healing journey. Writing affirmations, checklist pages, tracker flipping. This helps to track your progress and remove any emotional blocks. Daily reflections, and reflect on how your body responds to love and care. Smoke cleanse, bath water candles, noon imagery, renew. This is more than a journal. It's a spiritual house cleansing for your entire being. Watch your aura begin to change from fear to confident. You smile totally radiant and your walk. It is going to be absolutely glowing. So if you are ready for balance, clarity, alignment, start your 30-day reset today with House of Wisdom. Cleaning house by ordering your ebook for only $10 on Cash App tag $Health and Abundance. Just put your email when sending your money. Your body is sacred. Your spirit deserves care. Clean your house from the inside out. Hashtag House of Wisdom. Hashtag cleaning has hashtag Reiki healing. Hashtag spiritual rest. Hashtag holistic wellness. Hash 30-day healing. Welcome to freedom and rejuvenation. Your body is a house, and it deserves to be clean, nourished, and protected. House of Wisdom presents Cleaning House. This journal is for all men, women, children, and all walks of faith. This journal includes 30 days of healing, mindful eating, spiritual journaling, Reiki water healing. Begin each day with a morning practice and end your day with an evening one. This helps too. Program your body with intention, balance, and divine flow. Eat with intention. Food as medicine. Learn how to nourish yourself with high vibrational fruits and vegetables that support your healing journey. Writing affirmations, checklist pages, tracker flipping. This helps to track your progress and remove any emotional blocks. Daily reflections, and reflect on how your body responds to love and care. Smoke cleanse, bath water candles, noon imagery, renew. This is more than a journal. It's a spiritual house cleansing for your entire being. Watch your aura begin to change from fear to confident. You smile totally radiant and your walk. It is going to be absolutely glowing. So if you are ready for balance, clarity, alignment, start your 30-day reset today with House of Wisdom. Cleaning house by ordering your ebook for only $10 on Cash App tag $Health and Abundance. Just put your email when sending your money. Your body is sacred. Your spirit deserves care. Clean your house from the inside out. Hashtag House of Wisdom. Hashtag cleaning has hashtag Reiki healing. Hashtag spiritual rest. Hashtag holistic wellness.
Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to the House of Wisdom, where I am your host, the Taurus Goddess, aka TG. And we are back on today to do our part 3 of our 3-part series. Today we're talking about the binding season. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Shout out again to my Twitch family. We are now up to 843 subscribers. So I just want to thank everybody for subscribing. Shout out to everybody on my YouTube and on TikTok. I'm trying to brand myself as we build and go along on this journey. I'm glad that I'm taking everybody on this journey with me. It's been such a wonderful thing. It's been more than I could have imagined, coming from being kind of nervous about doing this to actually doing it. So I just want to thank everybody. So today we're going to talk about the last part of our 3-part series, which is about the binding season, and we were discussing the book of Enoch, and hopefully in this last part we can just bring it all in together, and then we'll decide what we're going to do moving forward. So let's just review episodes 1 and 2. First, we started off with the Watchers. The Watchers were the people who were sent between heaven and earth to just watch over the heavenly, over the earthly beings, which was us as the humans. And then we went to where they were sent on assignment from heaven to just watch over humanity. And then Azazel came in part 2, where he became the influential of chaos. And we spoke about influence and how it affects us in today's society back then, and how all the corruption began and all the violence began. And the Watchers had already started mingling with humanity and caused a great amount of chaos. So, and during that time, the Watchers had started messing with the wives, the feminine energy that was there on the earth, and they created what has now not been talked about, where we get giants from. So for those who know about the giant creation, this is where giants began being born, through the intertwining between the sacred and the earthly. So now we're at part 3 about the binding season. Let's just define binding for a minute. Binding is anything that you have brought into your life that's attached to you, where you have came in agreement with, whether it was intentionally or unintentionally. Meaning that you could have binded yourself to someone or something unintentionally, not knowing, or intentionally knowing. So therefore, when you bind to something in a season, it's not guaranteed to be there forever. You bind and you become as one. So during this time, Azazel had already created a whole lot of chaos, a whole lot of violence, and heaven was just watching down. And eventually Azazel knew, and the Watchers knew, that judgment was going to come. And during the binding season, judgment came. So their judgment was to be bound until they were chained and bound spiritually for life. because they broke their assignment and they led people astray. It says, we have uncovered the descent, they exposed the corruption, and now they had to confront their sentence. So this is when heaven responds to the chaos, and Archangel Michael and Raphael was sent to cast out the judgment. It says, heaven does not debate in darkness, it restores it. That is where your prophetic pattern began. This is where you become to your crossroad, where you decide whether you want to go light or whether you want to stay in the darkness. If you go towards light, then there is ways to cleanse and remove things from yourself, spiritually, mentally, physically, and you can be restored. But if you choose to go through the darkness, then there is judgment that it will be passed. Whether you like it or not like it, it will begin a pattern in your life. In life, some things are meant to be bound and managed, and some things are just meant to be banished altogether. Meaning some things are just meant to be done with completely. The Watchers were not rehabilitated. They were restrained. They were chained. They were sentenced spiritually for life for breaking their assignment. Their influences were meant to be used to balance humanity. And not everything deserves a negotiation. So for them, it wasn't no going to negotiate, because they were sent on a specific assignment and they broke every assignment that was assigned, and then they participated in weaponizing the influence over the people. So that's just like in modern day times. If you go out and you commit a crime and you get caught, you will be judged and you will be sentenced. You have the judge, the person who hears the crime, and then the sentence is what he is deemed to be written on the books during your specific case or court factor. And this is where those terms come from. And sometimes he can't negotiate. He has to give you the maximum based off law that's written in the book, and or he assigns what we call the jury, which is just people sent to say, hey, we either gonna give this person a fair chance, or no, they deserve what's been done in penalty. They are your chain binders. It says some speak through people and thrive on access. So some spirits that bind you speak from access, not ownership. Meaning the spirit does not want to own you, whatever this spirit is that is bound to you. It just wants access to you, and when it's convenient, they will use you to complete acts and do certain things or go through certain emotions, and then they'll drag you to a dark place and then leave you there. They don't want to own you, because we have to remember, soul-wise, we are put into skin. Our soul is harvested inside of this body that we're in, which is connected to our brain, our heart. You know, those main two things that we need to build an emotional strategy in life, which determines how we proceed if we're hurt, heartbroken, or mentally bothered, or physically hurt in our skin. Our soul is housed inside of this body, and if we're bound or bind to something, you are spiritually open through emotion to have access and not be owned. It doesn't want to own you, but there are some spirits that do want to own you, meaning it can unalive you in reality, because it wants to take ownership of you. So in Enoch 15:18-2, the giants who were created between the humanity and between the Watchers, which were the human wives, became evil and were casted out over the earth. So their judgment was casted over the earth, and they were left to afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, and work destruction on earth. These spirits were embodied and now disembodied, meaning they were in physical form, but then their physical form, skin, were disembodied, which means they passed. And once they passed, their spirit was casted out all over the earth to do oppressing, destruction, attack, destroy. And they look for different ways to inhabit it or evoke that spirit, meaning they look for people where they could habitat without bodies, which was their spirit, their soul. So they seek agreement through behaviors of addiction, rage, perversion, and violence, and pride masked as enlightenment, meaning those things that people thought made them feel good were only spirits that had access, not ownership, and they used that access to take control of them and make them do evil things, which later oppressed them. It can interfere. It can inhabit. For those of you who are in Christianity faith, Matthew 18:18 says, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, in spirit. It says you cannot cast out what you don't want to confront. Meaning past trauma, hurts, whether it's generational, current, past, future, generation to generation, you can't cast out what you don't want to confront. If you're an alcoholic and you know that you're an alcoholic and you don't want to confront it, and every day you just drinking, and you just blaming everything in life on why you're drinking, that's something that you don't want to confront. Now you're bounded two ways versus one. You're bounded by the habit, and then you're bounded by not confronting it. So it's two versions of spirit running you over one, and just depends on the time of the day which one is taking precedent. Meaning if you wake up in the morning and you start drinking, then that's that spirit. And then once you start getting intoxicated, then the other one comes in and takes access, who does the blame game. So when people are beginning to bind spirits today, they were renouncing harmful patterns, whether it was addiction, rage, or generational trauma. They make spiritual boundaries, and they engage in symbolic prayers, meaning they do their cleansings, for those that are in Ramadan, currently fastings, those types of things, to not only confront what's binding them, but they work on the steps to healing that bound. So stay in spiritual stewardship, not universal control. So stop trying to control what's going on, meaning stop trying to tell the universe and direct the universe on how to control something that you don't want to confront. It's easy to say, okay, I'm going to stop. But it's easier if it's already patterned to keep living in that pattern, to keep living in that bound. If you really want to get rid of that bound, then you're going to say, okay, hey, I'm going to take it head on, and this is what I'm not going to do. When I get into certain situations, I'm not going to act traumatically. I'm not going to allow the past to keep confronting me in my face, and then I go run to a bottle, or I go run to get high, or I go run and cut myself, or I go run and become hurtful to other people. No, you confront it head on, you deal with it, and then after that, it slowly begins to leave your life, whether it's generational or your own trauma. Today's society binding restores personal and spiritual order. It stabilizes your nervous system. It interrupts destructive cycles. It changes how you respond and act. It alters family patterns, meaning it does not get passed down from generation after generation as it's already been passed down towards you. It makes discipline and discernment with all of the current political tension, social media, economic stress, trauma, exposure cycles. When you don't have to spiritually fight the world, you can guard your home, guard your mind, and live in integrity. Your body absorbs more than you can consciously realize. Meaning your body sees, hears a lot of things that can trigger you on a daily basis, but how you determine to deal with those things is on you. So this is why when being bound, you can be bound by many ways. And remember, there are people out here in physical form, not only spiritual form, that's trying to bind you as well. So this is why discernment is always key, because a person will bind to you, whether emotionally, physically, meaning sexually, and they will begin to become a boundary that you cannot seem to break or shake. Look at domestic violence, for instance. Most people who are involved in domestic violence are bound for years. Some more deeply traumatic than others, meaning some people get unalive in this binding. But people will stay there for years and years and years and become more and more and more bound, knowing that they're suffering traumatically, whether it's being verbally abused or physically abused or however the abuse is coming. They learn to begin to cope with it instead of setting up the boundaries and fighting against it. And that's only because their mind is bound to believe that if I leave this person has already told me that if I leave, that they're going to hurt me, they're going to do something to my family, they're going to do something to my kids, they're going to do something to someone that I truly care about the most. And they bind and access and try to create a ownership over you for the rest of your life through manipulation tactics, which is not cool at all. Like 9 times out of 10, that person that's binding and oppressing you really is doing it out of a weak place, meaning something has happened to them where they feel the need that they have to hurt and harm another person to bind themselves to someone else. And you just happen to be the candidate. They look for signs, they look for weakness, they look for any little thing that they can manipulate and maneuver their way through to get to you. And then once they have you in this place where they make seem like you're so in love with them or you can't be without them or whatever, and then they begin to oppress you spiritually. mentally, physically, and then you find yourself bound unpredictably. And then you're in fear. And then you're asking yourself, who's going to help me get out of this bind? Who's going to save me if I run? Who's going to protect my family and my kids if I decide to run or leave? You know, this person is saying that if I leave, they're going to do something to me. And some people are just that spiritually oppressed that they will. They don't care about going to jail. They don't care about hurting you. They feel vindicated. So it's no different from back then with the violence and the hurting and to the current. Nothing is new under the sun. So you have to ask yourself, okay, once I'm out, what am I going to do different? And trust me, when you come out of that type of situation where you've been hurt physically, mentally, or whatever, you really don't trust anybody. You don't trust no one for a very, very, very long time. Because you're always looking for that pattern in that next person to say, soon as you see, you like, nope. But that's what's been instilled in you to believe. Because that another person took it and manipulated it and made it out to be something that was meant to oppress you versus be loving and comforting towards you. Same way with friendships. Some people bind and latch on to people for friendships, for comfort. And then once they feel they're comforted, they don't need you no more. Or they'll play like they don't need you no more. And then once something else happens, here they come again, trying to bind back to you again. And this is where boundaries get made. Like, look, okay, one time, 2 times, 3rd time, no thank you. Don't just come to me when you need me to just be there. So it's plenty of ways to bind. It's plenty of tactics that's used to bind. Whether it's influential, musically, physically, just everyday to day life is used to bind people on a daily basis. It's people, their job binds them. It could be a job you hate, but that job will make you feel like, well, what other job you gonna go out here and get that's gonna pay you this type of money? And come on, man. If it ain't your dream, you already bound. We bind ourselves to things based off of our situation. But the same energy you got when somebody is coming at you and you don't like it, you gotta have the same energy in these binding situations. Don't back down. Don't back down. Because it's always going to be a watcher. It's always going to be an influence. It's going on 24 hours, 7 days a week, non-stop. And people are just coming up with more and more creative ways to get the job done. So far that, that people are passing away behind these types of things. And that's why I said in the influence video, you watch people who begin as influence, especially young people, because y'all influence go extreme and y'all do some wild creative stuff to get the influence that you're looking for. And then, trust me, it comes a time where somebody is going to bind to you and they're going to need you for the next phase of the influence. And 99.9%, it ain't a light influence. It's a dark influence because everyone has an agenda. There's an agenda on the world on how to control it. If we play the news, we instill fear. If we use these influencers, we still instill fear. Eventually, yeah, let them have fun now. Let them enjoy. Let them think that they got these millions and millions of views and people, and that they scot-free, and let them make their monetization money, and let them do this and let them do that, and then boom, we're gonna come in, we're gonna swoop in, we're gonna take over. It's like, hey, we allowed you to get this far. We allowed you to meet such and such. We allowed you to interview such. All that is just freebies. Whole time they watching you, lurking, influencing you, the influencer, just so they can bind you and take over you and put you in a place that you cannot get out of. It makes you soulless. It makes you heartless. It makes you traumatized. And then you have to spend the rest of your latter years trying to clean up what has generationally destroyed you. So I hope this series helped somebody understand like how you need to maneuver out here in this world, because you remember in the first episode the deadline was given, which was the January deadline. And in part 2, the fallen angels said that we're in danger. We are, because we can't see what's going on around us, and consciously, like it says, your body is consciously intaking a whole lot of energy in a day. And sometimes if you don't voice your something and it gets caught up in your throat chakra or your heart, like you're gonna go through some of the illest times of your life. If you don't speak it, it will take toll on your body so far that it will make you ill, because you're holding all that energy trapped down on the inside, and that energy is heavy. It will wear you down. It will beat you emotionally. But once you learn how to get into certain patterns of learning how to make those boundaries and stuff that you know just don't completely serve you anymore, you just learn how to just cut it loose. Situations and things like that, situations that you're just tired of going through the same old, and you're getting the same outcome, you get tired, and then finally you like, you know what, I cut the cord on this. It's just like when somebody up there singing and you don't like what they singing and it sound horrible and people start booing. They cut the cord. They turn the mic off. Nobody want to hear all that noise. So as you get on your journey and you start to do things that you want to do in life, just remember, sometimes you got to walk alone. Sometimes you got to move by yourself. Sometimes you got to move in silence. Sometimes the right can't never know what the left doing. Sometimes that friend that always needs you sometimes you can't be there. Sometimes that family member who want to keep reliving what happened when y'all were children, sometimes you got to cut that off too. And be like, look, we either going to deal with this or it's going to run us forever. If you got out of that abusive relationship and you made it out alive, you got to let it go. Because if not, that's all you're going to ever see for the rest of your life. And I know that none of this stuff that I'm telling y'all is easier said than done. Trust me, I know. I have walked several journeys, including the abuse one. It is not easy, but in time, it heals. People say, everybody always say in time heals everything. Well, it's not the time that heals everything. It's the invested time that heals everything. If you're not investing your time into healing that, then why would it heal? Make it make sense. You can't just expect day to day to go by and you not even attempt to talk about the situation and expect to be healed from it. What you healing? Even if you write it down in a notebook, that's a form of healing. Even if you don't want to go to somebody physically and tell them what happened to you because you're ashamed or embarrassed, which you need not to be. There's nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be embarrassed about. It happened. It's happening right now to somebody. You can influence and save somebody's life from a lot of different scenarios and things you've been through, people you've encountered. People are used as mass destruction. We are our own worst enemies, not the things that's put here. We can have all the weapons in the world, but if your intention is not to go out here and hurt somebody, then it's just a weapon. You give it life. That's why I say a lot of stuff we give life to. You can give anything life. And it can oppress, control you. It can do a lot of things. Unintentionally. Or intentionally. If you keep allowing a person in your space, or you keep allowing things that you see into your space and you keep embodying and taking it in, eventually it's going to have an effect. It's the cause and effect of life. So stop binding yourself to things that is not going to serve a purpose for you in the future. That's with any type of anything. Don't bind yourself to no job. Don't bind yourself to no human. Don't bind yourself to addictions that you can't break, that might feel good in the moment, but later down in the road can be a downfall. Or maybe your ending. Don't bind yourself to protect something that can eventually hurt you. Because what you did in return, unbound, will be on your heavenly record, and that person will be judged for binding themselves to you and not freeing you. So for those people who done bad things and hurt other people or unalive people or done anything like that, it's a judgment for you. If you feel like you got away with it in the physical, spiritually, you have not won. You have not won. Your battle ain't even started. And the one thing about spirit is, what you gonna do to it? What you gonna do to it? Spirit will make you see things that make you see yourself on repeat over and over and over again. That's how people get hooked into addictions. Because spirit will keep showing you something on repeat that will rattle your brain. Make you scared to close your eyes. But you got to remember the spirits that was sent out, the evil ones, and what they were sent to do. All they need is access. They don't want to own you. They just need access to play with your mind for a little while, help you see some things, drive you mentally disturbed, and then their job done. They just go on and find the next body. And meanwhile, you're stuck with the residue that's left from that. And then you sitting there in distraught. You don't know which way to go. You don't know which way to turn. You don't know whether you want to live or whether you want to go. Like, it'll drag you that far. It will literally take you to hell if you allow it. So, I really hope this 3-part series helps somebody understand and have a bit more discernment. I really do, because this is the first phase of taking back control. Call back your energy, your original energy. Call back your original assignment. Call it back. And anything that does not need to be attached to it, ask it to be removed. Anything that's not going to serve you, anything that's not going to help you, ask that in the calling back of your energy, that those things be cut away. And once you feel that you're in the heart space, because it's going to require your heart space, because you're going to have to forgive some things, you're going to have to forgive yourself, you're going to have to be content with the fact that, okay, look, this happened. And you have to mentally prepare yourself. If that means you got to cry to cleanse, then cleanse. If that means you got to talk to some people, use your throat chakra. Don't keep it stuck in there. Let it out. If that means you got to write it out, however it is, you got to get it to escape. Let it escape. Because if not, you still got your chain on. And don't just do it for yourself when you're doing it. Do it for your past generational line. If trauma, alcoholism, addiction has been a generational thing that you've seen over the years, when you're doing it for yourself, do it for your generational line too. Heal your past and future generational lines so it does not become a pattern and keep going. It's okay to heal yourself, but what about the past people who came before you? Your grandmothers and your grandfathers, your great-grandmothers, your great-grandfathers, who didn't get the knowledge and the wisdom that we have now. Not to say that they didn't have that knowledge nor that wisdom, because they did have that knowledge and wisdom. It's just that nobody was there to say, hey. But trust me, whenever you hear your grandmother humming or hemming, trust me, she was praying about some things that was in her heart. That was her way to exercise her healing. When she had her Bible, or when your grandfather was outside sitting in the rocking chair, rocking and just looking out, it was ways to heal themselves, because they know that they went through some things. I'm going to talk about this one last thing, and then I'm going to get into doing a reading as a collective. But I saw a movie yesterday that was a perfect example of being bound. I saw a movie yesterday, and it was about a young couple who got pregnant. The girl got pregnant when she was 14, when they were 14 years old. And their parents raised the child, but made them get married. They was bound at 14. And as the movie went along, doing that binding, they made an agreement that once the child got grown, that they were going to divorce and go their separate ways, that their contract or agreement or boundment would be done. But during that period of time of being bound for those 25 years, they ended up having other children. So now how do you walk away from the original bind when now you've added to the bind? Can you imagine at 14 years old being bound to marriage? Like, what do you even know about being married at 14 years old? Nothing. Your mind ain't even mentally equipped for a boyfriend or a girlfriend, let alone a marriage. But do you know how many generations have been through that? And they stayed together for X amount of years until the child got grown. But guess what happened over those years? More children came. So at the end of the movie, when they sat down and they actually had a discussion, they was talking about getting divorced. They said to themselves, they was like, we know nothing about being married at 14. I can't even say I ever loved you. Can you imagine being with somebody 25 years and they never even knew if they loved you? They never did get a chance to even learn you. They was already bound to you, whether you liked it or not. They didn't know nothing about one another. Besides, we got this baby, and our parents say we're going to get married, and we just got to figure it out. Children be number one of the top binders. They are such blessings. They are. But a lot of binding starts there. Because you have a child or have children with someone, whether you know if you love them or not. At the time, you may do love them. But let's look at age aspect. And I was just astonished at this movie because I'm like, 14? I'm trying to think of what I was doing at 14. It wasn't marriage. So in the end, did they get a divorce? No. But after 25 years, they were already pretty much bound together. They had other children. So their children didn't understand, like, okay, well, why did this child get the luxury of having the both of y'all, and now we're just left here without, we're not going to have y'all as a collective because you did it for this child. So see how that's trickling down the generational line. I just thought that was interesting. To be bound to someone at 14 years old. It's pretty scary, to say the least. I mean, yeah, they showed them in a good light, and yeah, they showed them that they grew up and they became successful, but they also showed the harsh reality that they never knew each other in the first place. It was an accident. But their mom and daddy was like, nah, well, accident or not, all parties agreed and signed them up to be married at 14 years old. Because that was the stigma back then. You got pregnant, you was family. You was a family. You're taking my daughter, and you're taking this child, and y'all family. So these generational things or things that we see right now is not nothing new. It's just more easily influential and more easier to access. More girls will not follow through with pregnancy because they don't want to be what they've already been through growing up in single parent homes. They want family. They want families, and some guys want families as well. But a one night stand can turn into derailing the whole project of having a family. So moving forward, while you're penning and journaling your expectations of what you want for this year or your manifestations or the seeds that you're planting, make sure those things that you don't want to be bound to in this next season, make sure to omit and cut those things out and really mean it. Don't just say it or talk about it. Like, really mean it. Really mean that you're done. You're done with it. So now, let's get into our root reading. And let's see what we come up with. No, let's see, where should we start? Where should we start? Let's start from where I call my tree of life deck. And just so everybody know, like, I am looking for a few candidates to start working on a small group to learn the first steps of Reiki healing. And I'm willing to group and do some work with maybe about 3 or 4 people. I don't want a large group. Ooh, answers. To start taking, some natural ways of healing, even with simple meditation. Start right now some of your own meditations. Create your own meditations. Meditation comes from the heart space. You gotta open it up and willing to talk about the untalkable, the things that you got sunk down on the inside, and you know that it's on the inside because you can feel it. It's just like when you gotta cry, like, you know how it feels, right? For you, it feel like you gotta hold your breath, like it feel like you suffocating until you get that release. Then once you get that release, you all right. Let's see what the tree of life has to give me to start. And again, I thank y'all for attending this 3-part series. If you checked out all 3 parts, thank you very much for being attentive. Comments, feedback is always welcome. I think the next thing that I'm going to do is maybe some collective readings, maybe for maybe 1 or 2 days. And also feel free to donate to my Cash App at the Health and Abundance Show. It is not a must to get the information, but it is appreciated. Let's see. So from the tree of life, got radiance. Look at that. We talked about the 9 months. Summer solstice, 9 months. Look how radiant and bright that is. You see, it is going to bring radiance. We talked about the months leading up to when we put our new plans in place. But you gotta be careful. A lot of volatility out of here. Look at the volcano erupting. That's that inside, ready to explode. It says some things are going to be unfolding. So you're going to learn some things. Could be in your dreams, in your creation time. Most good creations come from in your dreams. Because when you're sleeping and you're resting, you know, you can kind of see things the way that you want to, and in that beautiful light that you want to see it in, and how you see it. Doesn't mean that it's going to play out like that in real life, but it's good to always dream. Dream big. Even though things are unfolding and you're working through some things, still dream. And then we got rain, purification, that cry, that release after that unfoldment, that cleansing. Look at them trees in the back. They look like they about on their last leg. But the rain coming to give them life, that radiance. Through all that unfolding and vitality, it's always going to be some sweetness on the other side. That's my ancestors all over the place here. Let's see what they got. Y'all stay ready. Fight. So far, if you're willing to work through the shadow, with a clear channel. It says, offer yourself fully to your calling, knowing that in serving others you honor spirit. You connect to the divine and bring strength and clarity. Be a vessel of sacred energy. That's that knowledge and that wisdom. Just like I'm sharing with y'all. I just needed to reach one person. And I'm good. That one person can take it and help 5 or 10. Just like the Watchers were supposed to. I'm cool. I'm good with that. Keeping all over the place. Got Fortune Visionary. There were those colors again. It says clarity comes when you learn to see with more than just your eyes. Look beyond the immediate and open your heart to the long view. Intuition reveals the truth. That's why I say you're going to have to open your heart space. You're going to have to allow the unfoldment to get to that radiance. You're going to have to open that heart chakra, let that vitality out, let it unfold, and do it in a healthy manner for your dreams to become fulfilled. What's the current energy? Kind of steep. What is the current energy right now? Action. A lot of action going on right now. And you see the imbalance, the dark between the light. I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of this going on. Because they know it's about to become time when you're going to have to choose a side. Dark and that light. You're going to have to really go down deep in yourself. Which I hope a lot of y'all choose the light. I really do. Nothing wrong with being spiritually beautiful. The thinking man. So somebody's thinking right now, well, y'all do choose the light. Look at him with the light in his hand. What if you do choose the light? You thinking, what can I do to be vitality? Like, what can I bring? What can we think of next? You know, we done this plan. Humanity, we already got them on edge, but now they starting to wake up a little bit, and they looking for these people, because these people out here telling them how to find balance, teaching them how to cleanse and heal and all this other stuff. It wasn't never supposed to learn, it's supposed to have been sacred. Only we were supposed to know how to use that. Wake up, people. So they thinking next oppression session, in session. So let's see what door the divine door has. Wisdom. Jump right out. The door of wisdom. Insight, enlightenment, experience, understanding, intelligence. You gotta have it. What other door do they need? I'm just showing y'all how all this stuff plays out, play into play. Got to have it. The door of sovereignty. You got two birds. Somebody feeling like the caged bird. Self-determination, liberty, freedom, free will. release, that unfoldment. Look at the light over top of it. Once you get to the sovereign place, the door is open. You can come and go as you please. It's nothing but light. Freedom. Remember, somebody thinking, what I'm going to do to get them to make them stay. Look at that. Door of the shadow on the bottom. Telling you. Introspection, inner journey, unconscious, integration. They want you to stay stuck where you're stuck. And the ancestors was right behind it. This is wild work. Like, I'm serious. Like, I can't make this stuff up. Legendary roots, wisdom, connection, guidance. A lot of this stuff is lineage. It needs to go back and be cleaned up. You might be the person that was chosen to do it. You might be the person who has the understanding. I don't know what's going on in my car, but they are like jumping all over the place today. I don't know why. They're on a spree. You got something you want to say? Can't wait your turn. So we got all this down here, right here, that's tying together everything that I just spoke about. And it's telling you how it's going to happen. Like, it's telling you why it's happening. All over just letting go. Looking deeper. Don't just scratch the surface. Go all the way down, up, through there. Deep within me is a majestic radiance. Radiance was the first card. Look at the jewels between the mountains. And there's a meaning to that. Look it up. Do some research. I'm going to give y'all some research to do. Look at the jewels on the top of the mountains and what that meant during those times. You know, you don't know, go research it. But there were actually mountains that had stones embedded on the top of them. Following your bliss, my soul sings with joy. Look at another white horse. There's another unicorn, this time majestical. But look at the sun and the moon. And she's moving more towards the sun, the light. I'm telling y'all, light about to rise. If you on the dark side of the world, you better tighten up. Not going to be great. Not going to be good. So my dreams deck has been cutting up for the last past 5 minutes. I don't know what's in here that they want to say, trying to say, but I'm gonna clear the board first. So we seen how everything that we just talked about fell into alignment. What to expect? Ancestors in the period 2 to 3 times already. So they letting you know they got a job to do. So you got to get on your job. They gave you some time, think about it, weigh it out, whatever you need to do. However you need to do it. Whatever. But they didn't give you their deadline. What you trying to do? I don't know what the dream deck wants to tell me, but it's popping out of this deck since I've been sitting right here. So now it's your chance to tell me. You can't take all of them. One time. Okay. Sure went down. Alright, let's start here. Anything else you really need to tell me? Let me take it from the bottom. In the top. Alright, so the first thing we got was the clouds. It says clouds symbolize the shifting of nature, thoughts, emotions, often represent confusion or uncertainty. Dreaming of clouds suggests that you are dreaming that you are in a period of transition where the direction of your future isn't yet clear. It encourages you to slow down and navigate through the mist, knowing clarity will emerge when you least expect it. Next we got is the fox. So I don't know if people are having dreams about these items. It says the fox represents clever wisdom and adaptability, reminding you not to rely solely on intuition, but to consider the smartest strategy and subtle thinking when faced with complex situations. It also suggests that some truths are not immediately obvious and require deeper observation and insight to uncover them, underlining them and their underlying motives and goals. Thank you, man. Next we got is door. The door. You dreaming about a door. It said the door symbolizes transition and choice, marking the threshold of a new phase, and dreaming of a door suggests an opportunity or decision awaits. It urges you to step out of your comfort zone and embrace new possibilities, whether in your personal life or spiritual journey. This moment is about making choices that shape your future. Don't hesitate to move forward, even if the path ahead isn't clear. So you got the clouds suggesting that it's not clear there or no clarity, but then you got the door that's open and saying, okay. Then we got the maze card. That maze. It said maze symbolizes the complexity of your emotions and thoughts, often appearing when you feel lost or confused. Dreaming of a maze suggests inner turmoil with challenges reflecting your confusion. It encourages self-reflection to find the way out. Though the path may not be straight, the journey will lead to a spiritual awakening. I'm telling you, like, there's a lot of cleansing and cleaning up shadow that need to be done. The bottom of the deck we had farewell. It says farewell symbolizes endings and transformations. Dreaming of farewell suggests that you are experiencing a loss or separation, whether in a relationship or life stages. It reminds you that farewells are part of life's natural cycle, essential for growth. A farewell marks the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, inviting you to release with courage and make space for the new opportunities. So somebody got an opportunity that they're a little bit confused about right now. Don't want to say bye to certain things. And I will include myself in that. I've been thinking about different things about what to keep and what to let go. And I'm really to the point where trying to be discerning about it is just slowing me down. I know what I want. I know what I want to do. I don't need to wait this out, because I'm going to do it. Then we got underwater. Like, you only get one life to live. You either take the risk or lose it all, or go with you. Next lifetime, you might come back as something else and still don't get the chance to do it. It says underwater symbolizes the depths of your subconscious, representing emotions and thoughts that have been hidden or overlooked. If you dream of being underwater, it suggests that you're diving deep into your emotional world, exploring feelings that may have been suppressed. It invites you to dive deep, confront unresolved emotions, and uncover hidden truths beneath the surface. And that's the whole thing that we've been talking about all week long. Clearing out, making room, making space. You gotta have space for your next season. So you gotta dig up some of these things and get them out of there. I'm gonna try a few more. And that's gonna be my time for today. Again, thank y'all for stopping by, coming through. Shout out to all of my platforms. And as we grow and go on this journey, that's great. Spring, spring, spring. We got the Ace of Spring and the Eight of Spring, which we know spring and colonization is coming up soon, March, next month. It says time to take action. Be fearless and happily pursue your most treasured dreams, amazing career opportunities. And then the Eight of Springs is stress that comes from having many things happen at once, successful multitasking, sudden events or changes. So yeah, it might seem overwhelming at first, but time to plant them seeds. Be fearless about it. Again, we got the Prince of Autumn, studious, responsible, cheerful, mischievous. It says, happy news about your career promotion, scholarship. Like somebody ready to get a promotion for real, for real. Well thought out plans that go perfectly neatly. A little push to get going. So somebody got an opportunity coming their way. That door is opening. It's just waiting on you to make your final decision. Are you willing to walk away from where you are now to spring into your happiness? Be happy about it. And the last message is going to be the message from the higher self. I'm not going to even do a soul message today because this is about somebody's career goal or opportunity that's in wait. And congratulations in advance for whomever career this is. You're going to be fine. Look at that. Your success is close. Your success is closer than you imagine, so just keep going. Congratulations to whoever that is. That is for someone. Whatever that opportunity you was waiting for is here. Reach for your dream, knowing that it already came true. It's here. You just got a couple things to clean up. And it's minor. And even if you can't clean it all up in one day. So congratulations to whomever that is. And I wish you much, much, much abundant success. I really do. See, y'all, I told y'all. Putting in the work. Putting in the work. You are creating a you that you would be proud of. And the final card. This could be several people. This is going to be several people. Several of y'all are riding the fence about career moves and what to do next. Comfortability ain't always happiness. If you're going to be comfortable and be happy at what you do. Wake up every day being happy with what you're doing. It's going to bring you the most success. Anything else? You got anything else? Over the door again. Continue to make the most of every open door. And with that being said, I am your girl TG. Thank you for attending my 3-part series. I hope that this helped someone learn and understand about what's going on currently. And congratulations again to whomever or who's ever or how many ever of us that is on our way to success. Congratulations in advance to everyone, including myself. And let's get this work done and let's get going and let's start opening these doors so we can come back and we can talk about, the journey. I love hearing about the journey. But let's not let the darkness win, because it's on a mission. It's thinking. of the next program to start to derail success, but the ancestors is saying, nah, not this time. Nope. Nope. Stay over there with Azazel in them, in the judgment chamber. Look at that. I'm done. I'm gone. That's it for me today. And I just picked this deck up. So anybody need a clarification? There you go. I ain't even know I'm gonna pick this deck up. Boom. You ready? Are you ready? All right. Well, I appreciate y'all again. Remember to check me out on YouTube, on my new channel, The House of Wisdom, Prophetic Reiki and Wisdom, and also on Twitch at The House of Wisdom. And my TikTok, Health and Abundance. And also Cash Out Health and Abundance Show if you feel like you want to donate to the channel. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. Look forward to everybody working on that shadow. Get your pen and paper out. Get your voice out. Like, do what's going to be prophetically healing for you. And tomorrow, I'm thinking tomorrow, not sure. But whatever spirit sends to me is where I'm going to be going tomorrow. And everybody have a happy, abundant, healthful day. Be healthy, be in your right state of mind, stay in your discernment. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Because as you can see, the path is in motion. It's just now time to take action. You want it, you want it. You don't, you don't. Pretty much cut and dry. So until we speak again, be safe, love on one another, love, help someone else. Share the knowledge, share the wisdom. It's your girl, Taurus, guys, and I'm out.
Is for all men, women, children, and all walks of faith. This journal includes 30 days of healing, mindful eating, spiritual journaling, Reiki water healing. Begin each day with a morning practice and end your day with an evening one. This helps too. Program your body with intention, balance and divine flow. Eat with intention. Food as medicine. Learn how to nourish yourself with high vibrational fruits and vegetables that support your healing journey. Writing affirmations, checklist pages, tracker flipping. This helps to track your progress and remove any emotional blocks. Daily reflections, and reflect on how your body responds to love and care. Smoke cleanse, bath water candles, noon imagery, renew. This is more than a journal. It's a spiritual house cleansing for your entire being. Watch your aura begin to change from fear to confident, G-smile, totally radiant, and your walk. It is going to be absolutely glowing. So if you are ready for balance, clarity, alignment, start your 30-day reset today with House of Wisdom, Cleaning House, by ordering your ebook for only $10 on Cash App tag $Health and Abundance. Just put your email when sending your money. Your body is sacred. Your spirit deserves care. Clean your house from the inside out. Hashtag House of Wisdom. Hashtag Cleaning has hashtag Reiki Healing. Hashtag Spiritual